Welcome back. Do multicolor. All right. So we've gone through all the colors by themselves, just by themselves. To me, it seems like black is the strongest by far, with maybe green as second, then white, then red, then um, blue, which is, I think, not too different from what Wilds of Eldraine was. But I'm sure all of them are viable in draft. And now we're going to see how they mix together in multicolor. Very excited. These days, multicolor really seems to be what the glue that holds together limited formats. So let's see what it has to offer. Abuelo, Ancestral Echo, one blue, one white, one other. Legendary Creature Spirit, Flying, Ward 2. Pay one blue, one white, one other. Exile another target creature or artifact you control. Return it to the battlefield under its owner's control at the beginning of the next end step. All right, so it's like the Efreet, the old Mirage Efreet. I forget the name. Is it like Frantic Efreet, something like that? Ward 2, wow. This is, I mean, the paying for the 3 is actually quite a bit to like keep open in early game, but if you're ahead, return it to the battlefield under its owner's control at the beginning of the next end step. If you're ahead on the board, and you could just keep 3 open and you force them to play permanents to get ahead of the board, because this is going to save a lot of things. Abuelo is very good, flying Ward 2. White already has quite a few good flyers. Blue had some too. Yeah, I like Abuelo a lot. I would be very happy to take Abuelo, pick one, and then just make a blue-white kind of flying card advantage tempo deck. Abuelo Ancestral Echo, I'm giving an, 2/2. The Ward 2. So you play it turn 3. On turn 3, it's going to dead weight in Ward 2. They're going to dead weight in Ward 2, pay for the Ward 2. So you slow them. They have to spend a whole turn getting rid of this. I think it's really good. A-. I like Abuelo Ancestral Echo a lot. Okay, Akawali, the Seething Tower. One green, one black, one other. Legendary Creature Fungus, descend 4 as long as there are 4 more permanent cards in your graveyard. Akawali, the Seething Tower, gets +2/+2 and has trample. Descend 8 as long as there are 8 or more permanent cards in your graveyard. Akawali gets an additional +2/+2 and can't be blocked by more than 1 creature. Does it? I don't know why they have to put the additional in there. Them putting the additional +2/+2 makes it sound like it doesn't have the trample when it has descend 8, but I don't think that's true. I think it has trample as long as you have 4. With a descend strategy, this is pretty good. It becomes a 5/5, then it becomes a 7/7. It has to be with and can't be blocked. So why don't they just say menace? See, I've noticed this with menace. Sometimes they say menace, sometimes they say can't be blocked by more than 1 creature. Oh, can't be blocked by more than 1 creature. Okay. So at descend 8, you just have to chump block this thing. Because it's not going to be easy to have a 7/7 a trade with this. Especially if you're getting to descend really quickly. Akawali Seething Tower obviously needs some descend help, but if it has that help, it's very good. I'd say like a B+. This alternate art stuff, I think I still like the regular art better. Amalia Benavides. Amelia Bedelia. I'm just going to call her Amelia Bedelia. Amelia Bedelia. 1 black, 1 white, legendary creature, vampire scout, rare, ward, pay 3 life. Whenever you gain life, Amelia Bedelia explores. Then destroy all other creatures if its power is exactly 20. Huh. Well, that's wonky. That will never happen. Yeah. There is that creature that black has, that sacrificing a creature to make your opponent gain 1 and lose 1. And also, there was that enchantment earlier, that black enchantment that whenever it flips every upkeep, it pings them and you gain 1 life. So, in combination with those cards, I mean, she's exploring every turn. That's really good. The ward pay 3 life is really not that intimidating. I'm very happy to dead weight this and pay 3 life before she starts really going off. But it's definitely something you've got to deal with when she comes down. I think she's quite good, of course. I would give her. I'll give her like a B plus, and I think, to be honest, I think I know she's a rare, but she helps reinforce me. Black white, I think, might be a pretty powerful color combination in this set. Anim Pakal, 1000th Moon. 1 white, 1 red, 1 other. Human soldier, legendary creature. Whenever you attack with 1 or more non-gnome creatures, that's racist. Put a +1/+1 counter on Anim Pakal. Then create X/1/1 colorless gnome artifact creature tokens that are tapped and attacking, where X is the number of +1/+1 counters on Anim Pakal. Cool. That's cool. You don't have to attack with her. It can be with 2 other creatures, and so you can keep her back until she's big enough to join the party. 1/2 for 3 is pretty slow though. You got, first turn drop, second turn drop, third turn you drop her, and you're attacking with both your creatures. Then you start cooking, and that's not too bad. But not as I don't. She's okay, but like I said, I think red might feel a little weak in this set, so not entirely sure. Give her a B plus. Bartolome del Presidio. 1 black, 1 white, vampire knight. Sacrifice another creature or artifact. Put a +1/+1 counter on Bartolome del Presidio. So I think he's pretty good. You'd rather him be a 2/2. But I don't think when you look at him, the idea of just pumping him a bunch is not where his value is. His value is that he's an outlet to respond to their removal. So anytime they try to remove one of your creatures, you just sack it. You can chump block, sack it, which is pretty valuable. I think he's a B plus. Again, I think I like the non-special art spells more. Okay. Caprocati. Caparocti. Sunborn. 1 white, 1 red, 2 other legendary creature, human soldier. Whenever Caparocati Sunborn attacks, you may tap 2 untapped artifact and or creatures you control. If you do, discover 3. That's interesting. Yeah, for aggro, that's fine. But in aggro, you don't want to be holding back your artifacts or creatures. I guess if you got that equipment in there, tapping equipment is good for this untapping thing that white does. So I guess that maybe I would grade equipment a little bit higher the more I see this set. But he's okay. 4/4 for 4. Still a little slow. You want him in the aggro deck. I think he's a little wonky. I'm going to give him a B minus or a C plus. I think he's a little wonky. it's very easy to disrupt his game plan. Yeah. Captain Storm, Cosmian Raider. 1 red, 1 blue. 2 legendary creature, human pirate. Whenever an artifact enters the battlefield under your control, put a +1/+1 counter on target pirate you control. Okay, so is red blue going to be artifacts and pirates? I guess that's kind of its theme. So I think this is pretty good. There are quite a few artifacts in this deck, or in this set, especially blue. I think solid 2-drop. The 1 red, 1 blue makes it difficult. Makes it a little bit harder for you, but I think this is solid. I'll give it like a B. The +1/+1 counter synergy though is more in white, so that's a little troublesome. But white and green it looked like. So give them a B. Maybe only a B minus actually, but well, you create a lot of treasure tokens with red. And there's a lot of cheap ways to create red treasure tokens. Actually, I'm changing my mind. I'm gonna rate this more like a B plus, because if you have a lot of cheap treasure tokens, cheap map tokens you're creating, those are artifacts. This can get really nasty really quick, and you can put +1/+1 counters on itself if it has to. You don't want to because you know this is going to be the first target, but if it's the only thing down on the ground, it can get the +1/+1 counters. Deep Fathom Echo, 1 blue, 1 green, 2 other. Creature Merfolk Spirit, 4/4. At the beginning of combat on your turn, Deep Fathom Echo explores. Then you may have it become a copy of another creature you control until end of turn. At the beginning of combat on your turn. Okay, so first turn it comes into play, it does this. The copying another creature, though, is probably not as good as it might first seem, because it's not going to get any enter the battlefield effects of the other creatures. Kind of depends on what you're copying. At least he explores every turn. That's good. He's not bad, but the copying is not going to work out as well as you would hope. I mean, obviously, if you have and you can't become a god or anything, because then you have to sacrifice one because he can't be a legendary. So he's just like a B plus. Exploring every turn is obviously good, but the copying is not always going to be that good. I guess the +1/+1 counters makes the copies bigger, but it's going to just be so-so. Gishoth, Sun's Avatar. All right, red, green, and white. We saw a red, green, white, green card, legendary creature. So will this set be pushing 3 colors? I didn't feel like there was a ton of fixing. I mean, I guess red has treasure. Green had obviously had good fixing. It always does. White had a little a random card. I think that was a little bit fixing-ish. So I guess the probably 3 color combination that's the easiest to do is red, green, white. Okay, so 8 vigilance, trample, haste. When Gishoth deals combat damage to a player, reveal that many cards from the top of your library, put any number of dinosaur creature cards from them onto the battlefield, and the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. Obviously, want a lot of dinosaurs. 7/6 for 8 is actually not, compared to, there was that other 8 cost that was a 12/12 trample. So it might even be a little underrated, but it has haste. So this is probably, vigilance is cool too. Wow. This is probably going to hit first turn. They're not going to be ready and prepared for it. So at least it's going to put some dinosaurs down. I'd call this a bomb. Green has some ramp too. I would call this a bomb. I would give this an A. It might be an A plus, but the 3 colors probably keeps it from being an A plus. But this is something that you draft. I mean, Mythic. You're not going to see it that often, but when you pick it up, first pick, you're like, okay, I'm red, green, white, no matter what. I can make it. I'm going to make it work. Dinosaurs, and I don't think that would be hard to. I don't think that's hard to do. So A. Maybe an A plus. Oh my goodness, it's Quinth, firstborn of Gishoth. So the first son of Gishath, 1 green, 1 red, haste. When Itzquinth, firstborn of Gishath, enters the battlefield, you may pay 2. When you do, target dinosaur you control does damage equal to its power to another target creature. That's really good. I mean, I guess you have to wait till turn 4 for this to be a removal spell. But even if you play this turn 2 and you start attacking and it's a dinosaur, you still don't feel that bad. It is a legendary creature. I imagine people are going to overlook that. There will be at least once that they end up having to sacrifice one of these, making that mistake. But it's good. B+, A- maybe even. I mean, it's a removal spell. You do target dinosaur. So it at least deals 2 damage to another creature whenever it comes into play, which is nice for 4. It's a A-, B+ card, somewhere in between there. And I think it's really good. Kellen Daring Traveler, 1 white, 1 other. Legendary creature, human fairy scout. Journey on, 1 green. So we have an adventure in this set. Interesting. Our blocks coming back. Sorcery adventure. Create X map tokens, where X is 1 plus the number of opponents who control an artifact. So it's either 1 or 2. Whenever Kellen Daring Traveler attacks, reveal the top card of your library. If it's a creature card with mana value 3 or less, put it into your hand. Otherwise, you may put it into your graveyard. So it helps with Delve, but green-white isn't, or not Delve, Descend, but green-white isn't descending much. It's a little awkward in that sense. The map tokens are nice, though. Map tokens go well with green-white-red or white-red. Green, this is interesting. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah. Kellen Daring Traveler is good. B+. Creates a lot of value, and that's what you want out of your rare. All right, Kutsil's Malamet Exemplar, 1 green, 1 white, 1 other. Your opponent can't cast spells during your turn. That's cool. No combat tricks. Whenever 1 or more creatures you control, each with power greater than its base power, deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. When 1 or more creatures you control, each with power greater than its base power, deals combat damage. So it has to be like a 4/3, a 2/1, a 3/2. Wait, no, it's not toughness. Power greater than its base power. So I see. So every creature that has a +1/+1 counter, essentially, is what it's saying. Well, green white is the +1/+1 counter combo. Wow, I think Kutzel's Mammoth Exemplar is very good. I think it's like I think it's an A-. It's basically any creature that you have, any creature you control with a +1/+1 counter on it has Curiosity. And that's really good, I think. Master's Guild Mural. I mean, red, green, white are now starting to feel like the strongest colors. Master's Guide Mural, 3 other, white, blue. I mean, we've seen 1 black card out of the multicolor cards, and we're halfway through the multicolor cards. We're halfway through. We've seen 3, but red, green, and white are really outshining black and blue. Masters, have we seen 1 black blue card? I don't think so. We haven't seen 1 black blue card. We're almost halfway through the multicolor cards. Master's Guide Mural, 1 blue, 1 white, 3 other. Artifact, when Guide Mural enters the battlefield, create a 4/4 white and blue golem artifact creature token. Craft for 7. Tap, create a 4/4 white and blue golem artifact creature. Activate only if Master's Manufactory or another artifact enter the battlefield under your control this turn. Okay, so more artifact synergy. I think this is a little slow. I'm going to give it like a B-. In the right deck with a lot of artifact sentry, it's nice, but especially if you have a way to generate artifacts each turn, then it starts getting bonkers. Creating a 4/4 token every turn, but it's okay. I get a B-. Okay, Molten Collapse. So our first black-red card. Sorcery, choose one. If you descended this turn, you may choose both instead. Destroy target creature or planeswalker. Destroy target non-creature, non-land permanent with mana value 1 or less. Okay, so get rid of your dinky artifacts. Get rid of a token, but it can't be a creature. And almost all the tokens are creatures. So I don't think really the descend is a big part of this. It is a rare. I mean, destroying a creature or planeswalker for 2 is a great rate. So this is a great card, but I think you are a little disappointed to see this as a rare because there's plenty of other removal in black to choose from. But it's good for sure. Give it, like a A-. I mean, destroying a creature for 2 is a very good rate. I mean, when they play their 12/12 Trampler for 8, and the next turn you just spend 2 to get rid of it, they feel kind of silly. That's always fun. Being a sorcery is not ideal, though. Nickenzill, Current Core Conductor. 1 blue, 1 green. Merfolk Scout. Whenever a creature you control explores a land card, you may put a land card from your hand on the battlefield tapped. Okay, helping the ramp strategy. Whenever a creature you control explores a non-land card, put a +1/+1 counter on Current Conductor. I like her. I like the Current Conductor quite a bit. Exploring's good. Coming down for 2, a 2/3 for 2 is already a good rate. Whenever a creature you control explores a non-land card, put a. So it's just ramping up that exploring. Again, a legendary creature that you might accidentally overlook that and get yourself in trouble, so don't do that. But she's good. I'm going to give her a B+. Next up, Palani's Hatcher. 1 green, 1 red, 3 other. Creature dinosaur. Other dinosaurs you control have haste. That's cool. When Palani's Hatcher enters the battlefield, create 2/0/1 green dinosaur egg creature tokens. That's cool. At the beginning of combat on your turn, if you control 1 or more eggs, sacrifice an egg, then create a 3/3 green dinosaur creature token. Okay, so if they kill this, the eggs just become chump blockers. They can't do anything. But it's the beginning of your combat, so you're going to at least get 1 of the eggs hatched. Yeah, it's really good. That 3/3 dinosaur has haste. All your dinosaurs have haste, which is this stays down, is gonna create real trouble. 3 is very small of toughness for a 5-cost creature. So I'm just gonna give this an A-, but it is a very good card. Oh, the Planeswalker in the set that has 3 different arts. Legendary Planeswalker Quintorius. Whenever you cast a spell from exile, Quintorius Con deals 2 damage to each opponent, and you gain 2 life. Okay, this would have been much better in Wilds of Eldraine with all those adventure spells. We saw 1 adventure spell so far in this set. But it was a rare, so you can't count on having that. Its +1 is create a 3/2 red and white spirit creature token. Okay, that's good. Its -3 is Discover 4. Okay, Cascade 4 is nice. And its -6 is exile any number of target creature cards from your graveyard. Add red for each card exiled this way. You may play those cards this turn. Well, that's very good. Well, as far as Planeswalkers go, it's pretty standard. You know, it's plus, gives a way to help defend it. It's negative, it's just value. And it's not, you know, the most busted Planeswalker we've seen, but it's definitely something you want, and it's definitely good. You're gonna always play it if you draft it. Would probably splash for it as well. So, you know, I give it an A. Might be A plus. Saheeli, the Sun's Brilliance. 1 red, 1 blue. Legendary creature, human artificer. It is a mythic. Create a token that's a copy of another target creature or artifact you control, except it's an artifact in addition to its other types. It gains haste. Sacrifice at the beginning of your next end step. Okay, so good. There's going to be a lot of really crazy stuff you can do with this, probably. I mean, we have to go to blue. I mean, it makes playing bad cards like Orska Puzzledore not so bad. You still want to play equipment. The biggest problem this card has, I think, is that blue seems pretty weak to me. I mean, crafting isn't really viable. Yeah, I mean, I really like her ability, and it's fun, and there will be games where you are getting some really interesting value out of her. I just think blue looks very weak in this set to me. So you can draft pack one, pick one, and then really try to build your deck around it and probably get a good deck together. But if you see your pack 2 or pack 3 and you aren't really, even if you're in those colors, but you're not building the deck around this, it's going to be, you're going to include it, but it's not going to go off as crazy as you might think, in my opinion. So I give it like a B plus. Sovereign Okanek Ahau. Ward 2, 4 cost, 1 white, 1 green, 2 other. Cat Noble. Whenever Sovereign Okanek Ahau attacks for each creature you control with power greater than the creature's base power. So if it has a +1/+1 counter, and I put a number of +1/+1 counters on a creature equal to the difference. Wow, that's going to get really out of control. So let's just say you have a 1/1/1 counter on Sovereign Okanek, and you attack. Then it gets 1/1/1 counter. If it has 2, it gets 2. It's basically put double, right? It's basically just double. It's like just double every +1/+1 counter that a creature has on it whenever it attacks. Yeah, which is busted, especially with +1/+1 counter synergy and green white. This is an A. The only reason it's not an A plus is because it doesn't do any +1/+1 counters itself. So by itself, it's just staying a 3/4 with Ward 2. But if you have any +1/+1 counter synergies, this will get really out of control quickly. Maybe an A minus, actually, because the stat line 3/4 is not that impressive for a 4 cost. But the ward 2 is really, really helpful. So A minus or A. Squirming Emergence, love the art. 1 green, 1 black, 1 other. Sorcery, rare, Fathomless Ascent. Return to the battlefield, target non-land permanent card in your graveyard with mana value less than or equal to the number of permanent cards in your graveyard. Pretty good. Pretty good. So you have to have, I mean, in this green black we've already seen is a descend color strategy, so you're already descending a lot. They've set the top end of descend at 8, so they must think that it's possible for you to get to 8. And if you're at descend 8, this will pretty much bring back anything, but it hurts your descend also at the same time. And I really want to emphasize descend 8, I don't think is going to be that easy to get to. Descend 8 really is 1/5 of your deck. That's quite a bit. And so not only is it 1/5 of your deck, but your deck will not be all permanents, Squirming Emergence being one of them. So you're really more realistically looking like to get to descend, you have to put to get to descend 8, you have to put around a quarter of your deck into your graveyard. That does not happen quickly in limited. I guess there are a lot of mill yourself stuff here. You're really going to want to play that, play those mill creatures, but it's tough. All right, the Ancient One. 1 blue, 1 black. Grade. I get A minus. The Ancient One. 1 blue, 1 black. Legendary creature, Spirit God. Ooh, so a blue-black Spirit God. I was saying we haven't seen much blue-black. Descend to 8. The Ancient One can't attack or block unless there are 8 or more permanent cards in your graveyard. It's an 8/8 for 2. Pay 4, draw a card, then discard a card. When you discard a card this way, target player mills cards equal to its mana value. All right, interesting. But this goes to show what I was just saying. Descend 8 is not going to be as easy as some might think. If it were easy, there's no way they would make a 2 for 8 that can't attack or block unless you have descend 8. So it is not going to be easy to get to, but possible. I mean, possible. I think this is still going to be very good Mythic, though. I'll give it like an A. Because I do think if there's any color combination that's going to be able to do it, it's blue, black, black, green. It's dangerous, man, though. You descend 8, you throw everything in your graveyard, and then they snuff this out somehow. They have just a destroy creature effect, and then you are playing with a much smaller deck. The Belligerent. 2 other, 1 blue, 1 red. Legendary artifact vehicle. Whenever the Belligerent attacks, create a treasure token. Until the end of turn, you may look at the top card of your library at any time, and you may play lands and cast spells from the top of your library. Okay, so you have to attack to get this ability to happen. The way it's worded is a little confusing. Shouldn't it be whenever the Belligerent attacks, create a treasure token, and until end of turn, you may look at the top card of your library? To just be that more clear, but I think you can only do this when you attack. Crew 3. Crew 3 isn't the best. I mean, I guess late in the game, though, this can really get you. I mean, once you hit your second land in doing this, you're sad. You're at least going to cast maybe a spell. Maybe, well, not at least. You can just have a bunch of lands on top of your deck. It's just okay. B. Maybe a B plus. The Myco Tyrant. 1 green, 1 black, 1 other. Elder Fungus. Mythic. Star. Trample. The Myco Tyrant's power and toughness are each equal to the number of creatures you control that are fungi and or saplings, which is not a lot. There are a fair number of fungi in this set, but I didn't see any saplings. At the beginning of your end step, create X/1/1 black fungus creature tokens with this creature can't block, where X is the number of times you descended this turn. How many people in real life Magic do you think are going to get in arguments over if an elder fungus is a fungi? So Micro Tyrant's at least a 1/1 when it comes down. You play this turn 3, it's only a 1/1. It's unlikely you can sacrifice anything to put in your graveyard or do anything to put in your graveyard the same turn on turn 3 that this comes down. So you at least have to wait for turn 4 to start at the end of your turn 4 to start pumping out saplings. That gives them a lot of time to deal with a 1/1 or maybe a 2/2 if you've got another fungus in play. I mean, if it gets going, it's obviously busted. But so I give it an A. The only reason I don't give it an A plus is because they have easy ways to deal with it the turn it comes into play. I mean, it's not that hard to deal with the turn it comes into play. Uj Benbach, The Great Mistake. I like that name, The Great Mistake. Vigilance, Menace, Descend 8, return the Great Mistake from your graveyard to the battlefield with a finality counter on it. Activate only if there are 8 or more permanent cards in your graveyard. Okay, not that good, actually. I mean, 5 mana for a 6/4. You'd rather it be a 5/5. Vigilance is cool. Menace is cool. Again, you're not getting to Descend 8 often. I mean, I guess the Menace makes it so you're hopefully trading this for 2 creatures when you attack, but they're probably just going to chump block 2 rinky-dinky creatures they don't care about. And this is not only is this not coming back often, because Descend 8 is hard to get to, but also when it comes back, it hurts your Descend 8. I mean, it's probably going to be the 8th card there, 8th permanent, and it's going to mess up your Descend for other ones. So I don't think this is very good, actually. I think this is like a B minus. It's sick art, sick name, cool design, interesting, makes you think. So people are going to draft it more than they said. No, I think it's more like a C. I think it's a C. I think it's a trap. I don't think it's that good. I mean, 4 mana, that white spell, it's called in this set, when you attack, takes care of it for 1 white, 1 other. Yeah, I think it's even as low as a C minus. It's a trap. People would play it and they shouldn't. Veto Fanatic of Aklazats. 1 black, 1 white, 2 other, vampire, demon, flying. Whenever you sacrifice another permanent, you gain 2 life. If this is the first time this ability is resolved this turn, if it is the second time, each opponent loses 2 life. If it's the third time, create a 4/3 white and black vampire demon creature token with flying. Okay, I think this is very good. The black-white sacrifice, like I said, I think on its own, black looked like the strongest color in this set. I think black-white is going to be very strong. This is a mythic, so you're not going to see it that often. A 4/4 flyer for 4 by itself is good. So yeah, I think this is A plus bomb. A plus bomb. This is first A plus bomb I've given away so easily, but Veto is an A plus bomb. Whale of the Forgotten. I'm not reading that art. Whale of the Forgotten. 1 blue, 1 black. Send 8. Choose 1. If there are 8 or more permanent cards in your graveyard, as you cast a spell, choose 1 or more instead. This is confusing design. So descend 8, choose 1. Shouldn't it be choose 1, descend 8? If there are 8 or more permanent cards in your graveyard, as you cast a spell, choose 1 or more instead. Because the way this is written and worded, it looks like descend 8, you literally can't choose 1. Like you can't, it looks like the way that it's worded, blue, black, sorcery, nothing is a text box until you descend 8, then you can choose one of them. That obviously can't be the way it is, or this is just like really terrible. But I think, come on, they get paid more money than me. They know this better than me. I think that's formatted wrong. Turn target non-land permanent to its owner's hand. Target opponent discards a card. Look at the top 3 cards of your library. Put one of them into your hand and the rest into your graveyard. It's fine. B plus. You're not going to descend 8 as much as you think. Zoyoa Lava Tongue. 1 black, 1 red, Death Touch. Legendary creature. Remember that. At the beginning of your end step, if you descended this turn, each opponent may discard a card or sacrifice a permanent. Zoyoa Lava Tongue deals 3 damage to each opponent who did. Cool. Wow, this is good. This is like a minus, B plus territory. Very, very good. I mean, yes, they can take the 3, but this is a part, I think descend 8 is going to be a lot harder than people think, but this descending every turn mechanic on a lot of cards, that I don't think will be hard to achieve. I think, well, I mean, I guess I'm overestimating, like sorceries and instants don't work for this. So maybe descending every turn will not be as easy as it sounds. But with all the sacrifice and the discard and the milling, I think descending every turn is not going to be that hard. All right. Okay, so we finished multicolor. Interesting. After seeing multicolor, I still think black is the standalone strongest color. It's just standalone colors are better. But I think the color combo of green white or green or gives it a run for money. So that makes me think, yeah, green is pretty strong. I think black and green are the 2 strongest colors in the set, but not necessarily the black green combo, which is interesting. Yeah. So interesting set. I'm really looking forward to drafting it. Hope you are too. And all we got left is the artifacts and the lands. So I'll live stream that again soon, and I will see you then.